I'm here today looking at something very interesting. This is an old autograph book that this gentleman is going to explain the background of it. So I take it that this belonged to your father?
It did, yeah. And Kenneth Russell, my father, and
that's fantastic. In case he lost it, he wrote his address there, and I bet you in those days someone would have returned it. Today you'd never see it again, but in those days somebody would have knocked on your door and I'm sure returned it.
Yeah. So he was born in 1917, and as a young teenager, he got these autographs. Most, I would estimate, are in the 30s. 1930 to 35 is my best guess, although one is 36.
So we were saying that this is the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yes.
The highlight of the book is the hockey autographs, and in particular, we're assuming that Toronto played against Chicago, which we'll get to in a minute. But this is most of the Maple Leafs team, and you know your eyes drawn to the guys like King Clancy, right, and Conn Smythe. You know what is always amazing about these books? Look at the penmanship. Like,
well, that's when you see Connie
fantastic.
And the last autograph on the next page is Hap Day, who was
George Hainsworth.
And Hainsworth, the goaltender, yeah.
But I mean, today you need to be a forensic scientist to determine who's who.
You asked me in a couple of crossovers, but not many.
Yeah, but I mean, look at just the beautiful. Is it Bill Toms? Let's look in Carol Cotton and Ebby Goodfellow. Oh, just the names too. Ebby Goodfellow. You couldn't make that stuff up. If you were writing a book, it would be Ebby Goodfellow.
And there's Hap Day and Frank Patrick and
fantastic stuff.
Patrick.
So that's most of the Maple Leaf team.
Well, it's 35. I don't know how big the rosters were then.
Exactly. And then Chicago, maybe they were in a surly mood. Not as many guys signed.
Yeah.
But there's Marty Burke, who's a Hall of Famer, and Mike Caracas. I believe he was the goaltender. I think he was the goaltender.
Yeah.
And he may have played in the Olympics for the. I could be wrong. There's Mush Marsh, another great name. Like a wrestling tag team, Mush Marsh and Ebby Goodfellow. So there is the Blackhawks.
Wow.
And then there's some baseball autographs in here as well.
There are. I would say, to me, when I was first going through this with Dad, growing up, he never mentioned this, so it was in a drawer for years. It only came up when he's well into his 90s. And, oops, that's the receipt, I marked that page. Well, sorry, if I could just mention that one. This is the most famous actor who played Dr. Watson. I think his name was Nigel...
Something with a B.
Byrne.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I Googled it. Anyway. Anyway, as an aside. There's tennis players and actors and a few just sort of... But where is... there's Errol Flynn. I mean, it's in pencil, but there it is.
Famous name. Okay.
I guess. Now, work... And the boxing, there's
Max Baer.
And this
Barney Ross.
Yes.
Barney Ross.
Yeah, Fred knew him.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that's Max Baer's brother. I didn't know there was a brother, but
did Max Baer play Tarzan? We're going to the source for all things. My friend Fred. That was Johnny Wise. Did Max Baer, was he an actor or something like that? He might, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is Wikipedia there.
Yes, of course. We all refer to the great Fred Hume. But let's.
No, I'm trying to find the baseball one. Yeah, just.
I think Connie Mack was the biggest name.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Where is that? I think it's closer to the front. Look at this. There. So these are the Philadelphia A's of that same vintage. And after the Major League Baseball season, they came through Vancouver and played an exhibition game, and then my recollection is that they went on to Japan.
Right.
And Connie was organizing
right. Well, I would have loved to have been there.
Oh, yeah.
So I am purchasing this autograph book today for $550. You know, this is a funny thing. It's not like buying hockey cards where through years and years and years, there's some, because it's old cardboard with a picture on it. This is an old book with signatures on it. Worth is relative to what someone will pay. But the thing with cards is that after years and years and years of buying and selling, there's somewhat established prices based on condition and scarcity and that sort of thing. With this, it's much more of a guess. And again, what I'm trying to do is take the guesswork out of things, take the flea market aspect out of it. I'm assuming that this is probably worth somewhere in the neighborhood of $800 to $1,000, somewhere in and around that. I like to feel I pay a fair percentage of that. I'm paying $550 for this autograph book today. And we'll just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as they're making a coffee in the background. Thank you very much for meeting me. Thank you very much for selling this to me. And if you open up a drawer in your home and you find any vintage sports ephemera, cards, pucks, programs, autographs, and you want to sell it with no games and no BS in a professional setting, give me a call at 604-726-1774. I would love to meet you. I'd love to purchase your collection. Thank you.